guys, my name is Claire Rose and welcome to week 3 of my OWLS Magical Readathon vlog. I'm actually struggling to believe that it's week 3 of the OWLS already. That's a little bit scary. I've just got out of an online lecture and my goodness, it was hardly the perfect lecture experience. We had phones ringing, my house phone was ringing, my mum's mobile was ringing, we had somebody with a delivery at the door for us, our food delivery was there. And then we had somebody else knocking at the door. We've just had everything going on, so I didn't actually manage to concentrate that much on the lecture, but we should be going over it again tomorrow night. A lot of the same topics as were covered tonight, so a lot of the same topics as were covered today will be repeated tomorrow night. So that's something. And I left my last vlog on a little bit of an open end because I had just finished reading my last book that I need to read for my chosen career path. I'm trained to be a magizoologist, and for that I needed potions, and I've read a book for potions. I needed herbology, and I just finished my herbology book, and I needed charms, and I've just finished that. And of course I need Care of Magical Creatures, and I am listening to the Goblet of Fire audiobook, and that's going to be an ongoing thing throughout the month. So I will be continuing on with that. But that leaves my TBR pretty much open. And the way I've been doing this, because I want to carry on, because I'm a perfectionist, I want to carry on and get as many OWLs as I possibly can do. But I have no set plans. I've already got at least one extra in because I've got History of Magic, which I don't particularly need, but I wanted to get it because I could. And so now I'm just thinking about what would I most like to study if I was at Hogwarts. And I think I've always wanted to study ancient runes ever since I heard that mentioned. I think it's in book 3 that it gets mentioned. I just thought that sounded like the sort of subject that I would probably be taking. And for that we need a book with a heart on the cover. And so for that I have chosen to go with Hard Pushed by Leah Hazard. This is a memoir of a lady who works as an NHS midwife in England, and because I'm training to be a midwife I think this will be really interesting. It's also completely different to everything else that I've been reading so far this readathon. I've read a lot of fiction, I've read some fantasy, some hard-hitting fiction, and yeah, so this will be something completely different. I don't read a lot of contemporary in general, so this will certainly be a change of pace. And I hear you asking, where is the heart on this cover? Look closely. Right here, where these two feet meet, there is a heart in the centre there. That is a heart, and I know it's only small, but it doesn't specify how big the heart needs to be, so that's what I'm going with today. My other plans for the day, I have got a short graphic novel which I would also like to read today, and I'm unsure whether I want to count that for my Muggle Studies prompt because it's a contemporary, or I could count it for my astronomy prompt and read it at night time. I think I might do that because I do have other contemporary books on my shelf, and I would rather get my astronomy prompt than a contemporary prompt, if that makes sense. So I think I'm going to do that, and I will just let you know how that goes. I'm really excited. I've been wanting to read this for ages, so I can't wait to dive right on in and also get that sticker off because that's irritating me. I love the first line of this book. Another night, another vagina. Doesn't that just say it all for a midwife? Oh, please tell me you never actually said that. The at your cervix thing is like, it's a common joke that you'll hear said, and like you can get it on tote bags and things like that, and yeah, it's funny, but oh, please tell me she never actually said that to a woman. That's just really cringy. I mean, good book so far, but that's a lot of cringe. If she actually said that to a patient, I don't think I could stand that. Look what I just found. It's the missing piece to the puzzle. We looked for this everywhere. It's been days, and now it was on the table, just there, underneath my bullet journal, but we moved that and I don't know, but there it is. Now I can finally fit it. In it goes. And the jigsaw puzzle is complete. Hi guys, it's quite late now on Wednesday and I realise I haven't given you an update yet, so I thought I would do that now. Continuing to read Hard Pushed by Leah Hazard. I am enjoying this. It's very much a light relief and a complete change of pace from Marina, very quick to get through, and I'm now already 78 pages in, and that's just from yesterday and this morning reading this. I've spent most of today editing my vlog, which is why I haven't gotten any further with it, but I would say that this isn't a particularly accurate view of midwifery, and it is written more for comedic purposes, which I personally would prefer it a little bit more serious. I'm finding it a little bit cringy, some of the moments in here. I don't really think it gives an accurate portrayal of midwifery, certainly the way that Leah describes her training experience and the first birth she ever witnessed. In the book, Leah says that she was hands-on hands for the very first delivery she ever watched, and then after that it was she was flying solo. I should explain what I mean by hands-on hands. It's where like your hands are on the baby's head and then the midwife who is observing you, your mentor, her hands are over the top of yours. And Leah says that was the first birth she ever witnessed. Maybe she is just editing highlights to make it more entertaining, but the way it certainly worked for me and for everybody that I know is that you have to witness however many births, you have to witness a certain number of births first before you can get anywhere close to having a hands-on experience, and then you are hands-on hands until such time comes as you are confident and the midwife who is working with you feels that you are confident to deliver a baby on your own. But then maybe Leah is editing to make it more entertaining, to make it more readable to the general public. And Leah did train 10 to 15 years ago in Scotland, so that's my understanding anyway from what I've heard. So maybe things are different there and they were different back then. 10 to 15 years ago, it doesn't seem like that long, but maybe things have changed, I don't know. So yeah, I think this is quite good as a general comedic overview of midwifery whilst also trying to make a serious point. But if you're looking for something really hard hitting or really impactful, maybe there are other books for you. I'm still going to carry on with this, still enjoying it-ish, but it's just a little bit light, a little bit surface level at the moment. I also think the fact that she says right at the beginning of the book that none of the people that she describes in here are actually real people. It's not just that she's changed the names, she's changed everything and sort of made up these scenarios that she's describing, and I can't get past that at the moment. I can't get involved in any of the anecdotes that she's telling because I know that none of them actually ever really happened. I do understand why she did that, because obviously patient confidentiality, but I think she could have done it just by changing names and identifying details. Whereas at the moment I just think, well, this person isn't real, they never existed and this never actually happened. So it's hard for me to get involved in. It does give you an idea of some of the cases a midwife might encounter, but not in a straightforward way. Hi guys, it is now Thursday afternoon and I thought I'd just film this update while I've got a moment to chat. Despite being in lockdown, obviously, I have got quite a busy afternoon today. Well, what passes for busy at the moment anyway. I've just now finished a revision session with some of my university friends, and now I've got a arrangement with one of my other friends to video chat, and we're going to try and do an online puzzle as well. Neither of us have ever done an online puzzle before, like a virtual jigsaw puzzle that we're going to be fitting at the same time. Neither of us have done that before, so that'll be a new experience. In terms of reading, I am up to page 140 of Hard Pushed by Leah Hazard, and as I said before in my sort of rambly, not very concise views of this book, which I updated you on yesterday, I'm not 100% sold on it. It is a little bit cringy, and it is a little bit written for the entertainment of people who are not midwives, I believe. It doesn't give me an entirely accurate representation of my experiences of midwifery, and also all of the women she talks about are in fact just stereotypes that she has created to represent a point, and to sort of demonstrate overall experiences that you can come across in midwifery, rather than them actually being real experiences where she's changed identifying features. She has just made them up entirely, from my understanding. So that's pulling me out of it a little bit and making it a little bit difficult to get into. I feel a little bit, not exactly slumpy, but almost a little bit burnt out. I mean, I never ever read this much in a month. I've read, how many books have I read so far? 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be my fifth book that I have read so far this month, and I never ever read that much in a month. You have no idea how strange that is for me. 6 if you include my audiobook as well. But it's a lot, and I don't know whether I just need to take it easy for a couple of days. But then, having said that, this is easy reading at least. It's not nothing too taxing. And also, I think I'm getting ever so slightly burnt out with vlogging content, because there's nothing interesting that I can show you guys that I'm doing. But I mean, if you guys are happy with just footage of me drinking tea and reading books and doing crosswords with my mum in the garden, which is another thing we've started doing lately, then I mean, you're here, so just come along with for the ride. Hi everyone, welcome to Friday's vlog. This is a different background because I'm currently stood in the kitchen getting lunch ready for me and my mum. I'm making chips, and we're going to have chip butties, chip sandwiches for lunch, which isn't the healthiest, but I mean at least they're healthy chips that I'm making, so I think that's okay. I have got a few bookish updates for you. I've managed to get up to page 182 of Hard Pushed by Leah Hazard. This is really easy reading, and I've actually gotten into it a lot more since I last updated you. I'm liking it more now than I was before. The last segment, the last story that I read in here in particular was really good. I really enjoyed that. It was about a woman who was critically ill and their response to that, and I enjoyed that particularly because I'm learning about emergencies at the moment, so I think that resonated with me as well. And then last night, before I went to bed, I decided I was going to start on my astronomy book, for which we need to read a book primarily at night time or while it's dark outside. So last night before I went to sleep, instead of carrying on with Hard Pushed, I decided to do that instead as a bit of a change. And for that prompt, I have Giant Days by John Ellison. This is another library book, hence the very shiny cover that's reflecting all of the light. This is a comic book graphic novel about a trio of girls at university. This is a whole series. Giant Days is a whole series, and this is the early registration volume that I've got here, so it's almost like a prequel to the main series. I've not read any of the main series, but I saw Jean talk about it over on her channel, and she really built it up and said it was really good fun. It's very funny and quite light-hearted. I wasn't sure what to expect going into it, and I don't know whether it would be better if I'd read one of the actual volumes first before reading this sort of like additional extra. Maybe that would have worked out better. But I am enjoying it. It's very fun, very light-hearted. There's a segment in here where the girls get into a fight and it's portrayed almost like an anime fight or like a comic book superhero fight, even though it's meant to be realistic. But that was quite funny and I enjoyed that. Now that I know what I'm in for, I'm enjoying it more than when that just sort of took me by surprise and I was expecting a straightforward graphic novel contemporary. So now I know what I'm in for. That's good. And then last night what page did I get up to? I should probably tell you that. Yeah, it doesn't have page numbers, very unhelpfully, but I'm into chapter 2 of this volume. And then last night, in the middle of the night or early hours of this morning, I woke up about 4 and I couldn't get to sleep. I was way too hot in my bed. I felt really not ill, but just I was hot and uncomfortable and I couldn't settle. So I ended up getting out of bed, getting myself a drink, going back to bed and listening to the Goblet of Fire audiobook. I now need to catch up with the illustrated edition, but I am about halfway through, so which is really good. I'm at the part of the book where I really enjoy it again, because I don't like a certain segment in Goblet of Fire where Ron is behaving in a way that I really don't approve of, and I don't like that section as much as the rest of the book. Still really enjoy it, but that part always irritates me, and now we're nearly past that, so yeah, we're up to the first task in the Triwizard Tournament, so it's all good from here on out, and I'm really going to be enjoying it. I will update you when I get any further, and I'll take you with me on my day, let you know what I'm doing. I'm going to probably be proofreading later on today because I haven't done any proofreading work in a really long time, and I need to, desperately. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. It's now Saturday. The weather outside has gone back to typical British miserable April weather, so I'll be spending most of today inside. I don't think I have to go out for anything much at all, other than walking the dog. I have a few things that I need to do in the house today anyway. I need to finish up my proofreading, or at least make headway with the manuscript more, and I also am going to do some baking later on. Hopefully I'll be able to fit some reading in around all of that. Hello! We are skipping straight through to Monday now. I have no idea how much of the footage I shot over the weekend is going to be usable. I'm figuring probably not much. I didn't do that much filming to begin with, and then I don't think that much of it is going to be really usable. My mental health took a major downswing over the weekend. I've really been struggling. Sunday in particular was not a good day for me. I did manage to perk up a little bit towards the evening time. I spent some time on video chat with some of my friends. We did an online puzzle, and that made me feel a little bit better. But I did think I would come and update you now on Monday to let you know what reading I got up to over the weekend, even if I end up, whoa, what is happening with my hair? There we go. Even if I end up not showing you much footage from the weekend, I can let you know what I read. So anyway, I finished reading Hard Push by Leah Hazard. This was a good book. I wouldn't say it was a brilliant book. I certainly liked the latter half of it much more than I liked the first half. As a student midwife, it didn't give me any fresh insight because it's a world I already know. It did give me a sense of an insight into how things used to be because Leah trained under a different set of rules and circumstances, but it's not far enough historically. It's not like, I'm trying to think how to explain this. When you read something like Call the Midwife or one of these historically set midwifery books, you know that it's historical and you know that things have changed a lot, but things have changed a lot even in the like 10-15 years since Leah qualified to now. Things have changed a lot. I'm not necessarily saying that things have gotten better because Leah talks about the strain on the NHS and the pressure that midwives are under, and that certainly is still true. One thing that I found with this book is I don't think it was helping my mental health because it was just a lot of it was Leah talking about how disenchanted she got with the whole midwifery sector and how she didn't feel like she was helping women. And I have not reached that point yet. I hope I never do reach that point. But it certainly is an eye-opener for anybody who has a very limited idea of what a midwife does. This shows the wide range of midwifery services. It's not just the catching of the babies, it's all the antenatal, all of the postnatal, the mental health side, the social care side. Everything that comes under a midwife's remit is pretty much covered in this book. So I would recommend it if anybody is interested casually in midwifery. For student midwives, would I recommend it? Yeah, probably I would recommend it, but remember to take it sort of a little bit, I'm not going to say with a pinch of salt, but sort of form your own opinions having read this book. So that is my Ancient Runes book completed. I now have my Ancient Runes OWL, which is amazing because I would love to study Ancient Runes. I tried to read a little bit more of Giant Days for my astronomy prompt and I really wasn't feeling it, but then I may give it another try tonight just to see if it was anything to do with my mental health and my state that I was in that was affecting my enjoyment of this. I don't think that it's going to be a great book for me. I'm not loving it, but then that might be because I need to read the first volume before I go back and read all the prequel stuff. That might make me enjoy it more. Because at the moment, everything's just feeling quite bitty and quite all over the place. So maybe it's just I'm coming into this series at the wrong point. And if I'd read latter books in the series and then went back to this, it would have more of an emotional connection to me. So maybe that's just my problem. And now, because I have finished my current book, I need to find something else to read. And so I will be reading The Secret Deep by Lindsay Galvin. This is a complete wild card for me. I have very, very little idea what this book is about. I grabbed it from the library in that haul that I did from the library because it was the only book I could find that I was even remotely interested in that might pass for the Defence Against the Dark Arts prompt. For that, we need to read a book which is set at sea or by the coast, and this book is set, from what I can gather, almost entirely on an island. There's this girl called Asta, and she wakes up on a beach and she has no idea how she got there. She's completely alone. I think it's like on a deserted island. This is a tropical island. Yeah, she has no idea where her family is, and in particular, she has no idea where her sister is, and so she needs to find her sister. So I figured that would be quite interesting, a bit of a mystery thriller, figuring out what's happened, and that sort of sisterly bond as well. I thought it'd be really interesting, something a bit different, and hopefully something that I can immerse myself in. Who knows? Maybe I'll be surprised by this, and it'll be my new favourite book. It does have quite high ratings on Goodreads, but there's not a lot of them, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Oh, today is also a results day for me. One of my essays that I submitted ages ago, the results should be coming out today at midday, which we're coming up to very quickly. I don't know if I'm going to film a live sort of me looking at my results thing because I don't really like emote very well. I feel like it would be forced. Any emotion that I was given would be sort of like forced for the camera, and I don't think that's great. And also, obviously, if it turns out I've done really badly, I don't want that on film, even though I could edit it out. What I will do is I will update you after I've opened my results and let you know. Oh my god, guys. I just checked my results. And... okay, I'll turn the camera on so I can show you. 97%! 97 out of 100. Oh my gosh. I was not expecting that at all. Oh my goodness. Oh wow, I'm so happy with that. That's a first. Oh my gosh. Yes, I've got a first. That's amazing. Future Claire Rose here, just cutting in to give you a bit of information about that essay should you be interested in it. It's for my midwifery degree, of course, and it was in particular about public health and the structure of public health services in England, how that's all arranged, and it was about the midwife's role within public health. And it wasn't exactly my favourite essay to write, and I'm really not sure how I managed to get such a high mark for it. I'm very, very pleased and delighted that I did, but I'm not sure quite how I managed it. We did have some choice on what aspects of public health we could write about, and I ended up writing about mental health and support for mothers with postnatal depression, which is a big interest of mine. So I think that helped writing about something that I did really enjoy. Now that means that I am still on track to get a first for my university degree, which I can't quite believe. And I don't want to like count anything too soon, but that's just amazing. I can't believe that I'm still on track for that. And yes, third year is ahead of us and everything's up in the air at the moment, but this was just such a massive boost that I needed to my confidence and to my academic success at the moment. It's Tuesday, and that means it's time for me to start wrapping up this vlog. It's been a bit of a roller coaster week for me in terms of emotions and everything else. My mental health has been all over the place, and my vlogging probably has taken a bit of a hit subsequently because of that. But you know what? We're here, end of the week. Let's get this all wrapped up and on to the next week. So this week I read an entire book in less than a week, and that is Hard Pushed by Leah Hazard. I've already talked about this, but 3 stars. I'll probably give a bit more information again. I'll probably do a wrap up after the end of the OWLS talking about all of the books I read. But yep, 3 stars. This is over 350 pages, so I'm really amazed that I read all of this in such a short space of time. And in terms of my audiobook, and the illustrated edition of Goblet of Fire. I am now up to page 266 of the illustrated edition, which I think is over halfway through, which is really good. I'm definitely on track to finishing this by the end of the readathon. We've got another week and a bit to go, so I think I should finish this without too much difficulty. I mean, it's one that I already know pretty much off by heart, so I can just whiz through and finish this, hopefully. And if I was struggling to complete the audiobook, I could just whiz through and read the end of the illustrated edition, or the other way around. I started Giant Days for my astronomy prompt. I'm still only a little bit into this. It's hard to say because there's no page numbers, which is quite irritating, but I'm still only in chapter 2. I'm not sure how many chapters are in this. I'm not 100% loving it, and I'm not actually sure if I'm going to carry on. Oh, it's catching the light there. Let's put that down. I'm not sure if I'm going to carry that on or not. I am going to give it a couple more attempts tonight, maybe tomorrow night, see how far into it I get. But if not, I can put that down. I have got several other books that would do for the astronomy prompt, because it's just read a book at night time. I've got a couple of short little books that I could read/reread and get that prompt another way. And then I started on my Defence Against the Dark Arts prompt, for which we have to read a book set on the coast or by the sea, because we are studying the Grindylows. And so I have The Secret Deep by Lindsay Galvin. I know virtually nothing about this book when I started reading it, and I still know nothing now. I'm still at the point where I don't know much more than the vague synopsis I gave you yesterday, I think, when I started this. It does jump about in time. I thought it was going to be more sort of set as soon as Asta wakes up on the beach and trying to figure out what's happened, but we've already jumped back in time to before she ended up on the beach, and so we don't know what happened, but we are getting some backstory there, and then presumably it's going to jump back to her on the beach and figuring out what happened. So it's not a complete mystery, but I don't know which direction this is going to go down. I don't know if it's going to be a supernatural element to it. I don't know if it's going to be a straight up thriller, but we'll see. I'm liking it so far, and it's definitely easy reading. I don't think this is going to take me very long at all to finish. But then, having said that, I can't believe that I've read so many books already this month. You have no idea how unusual this is for me to whiz through and read so many books in such a short space of time. I know some of them have been quite short, small books, but this isn't like me. I mean, it's partly lockdown's fault. I can't go out anywhere. I can't do anything else. And I'm not spending time travelling to and from work. I'm not working. So who knows? Maybe it's a bit of that as well. So I'm going to say goodbye now, and I will see you again in my next vlog. So don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you have enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear from you and know what you're reading at the moment. Also, if you have any questions for me, let me know and I can try and answer those in my next week's vlog, just to give me something else to talk about. You can ask me about my reading tastes, books that I read, my favourites in general. Ask me about midwifery. I don't really mind, just anything that you want to ask me, and obviously if it's too rude or personal, I don't have to respond to it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing you all again soon, and here's to a better and more positive week ahead of us. Bye! I can't really do the disappearing thing when I'm on my bed. How do I do that? Like this? That was the sound of the phone falling over and me nearly dying.